Hello, passionate Celtic fans. It's time to dive straight into the latest from Parkhead and beyond, and there's plenty to unpack after what was a truly frustrating encounter against Dundee United. Right from the off, I think it's fair to say that most of us were bracing ourselves for a difficult match. The confidence in the fan base wasn't exactly sky high, and looking back now, it's hard to argue with that sense of apprehension going into the game. I'd have tipped Dundee United to take the win, and sadly, that's exactly what happened. It wasn't for lack of effort in the first half, though. Celtic showed some signs of life, a little spark that hinted at possibilities. We were getting to second balls, pressing where we could, and for moments it felt like the team were trying to impose themselves. We carved out chances that, realistically, should have had us comfortably ahead by the break. 3 or 4 goals would not have been a surprise if our finishing had been sharp, and yet by halftime, the scoreboard told a very different story. That first half was arguably the clearest glimpse we've had in recent weeks that perhaps there's a pathway to turning things around, but as we all saw, the second half was a completely different contest. Something happened at the break that left Celtic unable to find any rhythm. Dundee United adapted, closed the spaces in midfield, and suddenly our approach seemed entirely nullified. What was particularly troubling was the absence of a response from the bench. In football, you expect adjustments, little tactical tweaks, maybe a midfielder pushed higher, a change in the passing patterns, some shift in positioning to counter the opposition's adjustments, but none of that came. We were essentially left to flounder under pressure without a plan B. By the time the second goal went in, it was painfully clear the game had slipped beyond our reach. And yet it wasn't just the moments around that goal that were the issue. From the restart after halftime, Celtic never really competed effectively. It felt like the team simply lacked the belief or the organization to recover. The problem isn't a single 3-minute lapse. It's the 55 minutes of second-half struggle that killed any hope of salvaging the match. It's impossible to ignore the frustration that comes with watching a team that, in theory, has quality, yet consistently fails to handle adversity. Under previous managers, even when we lacked top-level quality in certain positions, the squad found ways to battle back, grind out results, and scrape through difficult moments. Against Rangers or in cup ties, Celtic showed resilience even in less than ideal circumstances. This squad, under the current management, seems unable to replicate that. Once Dundee United scored their second, third, and even fourth goals, the fight was gone. Yes, we created opportunities, had United pinned back at times, but those moments of pressure simply weren't converted. Key players in front of goal failed to finish what should have been routine chances. Headers, tap-ins, balls into the net that should be instinctive, all squandered, as if the players themselves had lost confidence in their ability to see the job through. It's a glaring issue not just for this match, but for the season's trajectory if things don't change. Defensively, the problems persist as well. Set pieces continue to haunt us, and the team seems unable to organize effectively to prevent routine goals from corners or free kicks. The lack of discipline and structure at crucial moments has been costing Celtic repeatedly, and tonight was no different. You can't expect to challenge at the top level if these mistakes remain unaddressed. It's not just about losing games, it's about the style in which the team is losing, the inability to compete in critical phases of matches, and the lack of a visible plan to rectify these recurring issues. Then there's the question of leadership and management. 4 defeats in a row is simply unacceptable at Celtic, regardless of circumstances. Sure, injuries and absences can be cited, but what's most concerning is the lack of adaptability. The manager seems wedded to his principles, insisting on implementing an approach without taking the measure of the squad's strengths or the nuances of opposition tactics. When adversity arises, as it inevitably does in football, the team appears directionless. Fans see a disconnect between what's happening on the pitch and the messages coming from the touchline. There's talk of adversity, talk of building from scratch, yet the players don't demonstrate resilience or belief. It's almost as if the club has created its own problems by making changes too rapidly without consolidating the positives that were already in place. The first half of the match against Dundee United suggested that maybe, just maybe, there was a chance to turn things around. We were pressing well, moving the ball with purpose and finding gaps in the opposition's defence. The early goal offered a glimmer of hope that Celtic could dominate the game, perhaps even run away with a comfortable lead. The vision was there, the intent was clear, and for a brief spell, it looked like the manager's methods might be taking root. But the second half cruelly exposed the flaws. The team couldn't adapt, the tactical response was non-existent, and the naivety of the approach left Celtic vulnerable. It raises serious questions about experience and whether the manager can truly read the game and react to challenges in real time. Compounding the issue is the apparent breakdown in relationships within the squad. Reports suggest that key players, including the captain, aren't fully bought into the manager's approach. In a club like Celtic, where leadership on the pitch is vital, this is disastrous. No matter how much tactical tweaking is done, if the players have lost faith in the manager, results will continue to suffer. History shows us that a united dressing room is often the difference between scraping through adversity and collapsing under pressure. At present, it seems Celtic are facing the latter scenario. Without trust in the touchline leadership, even the best players cannot compensate for tactical rigidity or poor decision-making. Looking at the squad composition, there are further concerns. Several key figures are at the tail end of their careers at the club, while injuries continue to disrupt continuity and performance levels. Decisions around selection and squad management have further impacted set-piece vulnerability and overall competitiveness. The team is not just losing, it is showing structural weaknesses that, if left unaddressed, will continue to undermine the season. Even attempts to change personnel have failed to resolve core issues, leaving Celtic both physically and psychologically exposed in matches that require cohesion and mental resilience. Moving forward from that game, the atmosphere around Celtic is tense, to say the least. Fans are frustrated, voices are louder than ever, and the sense of patience that existed at the start of the season has evaporated rapidly. It's not just about one poor result, it's the pattern of underperformance and the seeming inability to respond to problems as they arise. The concern isn't simply losing to Dundee United, it's how the team folded after the first half, how the manager didn't adjust, and how the players seemed devoid of any collective belief that they could turn the game around. There's a real sense now that the squad lacks confidence in the direction being set from the top. When key figures in the team don't trust the leadership, every match becomes a struggle, not just tactically, but mentally, as the players second-guess their choices and hesitate in crucial moments. That hesitation has cost Celtic repeatedly, whether it's missed opportunities in front of goal or failing to defend set pieces with the necessary urgency and awareness. Even as we analyze the individual errors and missed chances, the broader issue is the culture of the squad under the current management. There's a disconnect between intent and execution. In the first half, there were glimpses of the team pressing intelligently, moving the ball quickly, and creating high-quality chances, but all of that evaporated after half-time. It raises questions about preparation, in-game management, and the manager's ability to read the flow of a match. Players need guidance and reassurance when things aren't going right, but what we've seen is rigidity, a strict adherence to principles that are perhaps not suited to the squad or the opposition being faced. Fans watching from the terraces or at home can see these moments of indecision and tactical stubbornness. And it breeds frustration because it feels like these issues are avoidable if the approach were more flexible. Off the pitch, the pressure is mounting as well. The club's support structure has traditionally been patient, but patience isn't infinite. Long-standing supporters, the ones who turn out in rain, snow, and bitter winds to back the team, are starting to voice their discontent openly. The energy of the stadium has shifted, chants have changed tone, and there's a sense of unease permeating the fan base. When supporters are actively questioning the leadership, it reflects deeper structural concerns within the club. These aren't casual grievances. They're the response of a community that has invested not just money, but time and emotional energy into the team, and they're witnessing a period of football that doesn't align with the values and expectations they hold. The issues extend to squad management and player selection. Injuries have been cited, and yes, they play a part, but there's also the matter of rotation, game readiness, and recognizing when certain players are past their peak or struggling to perform at the required level. When key players are out, it's imperative that replacements are integrated smoothly and that the overall system adapts. That hasn't happened consistently. Players coming in are sometimes mismatched physically or tactically, leaving gaps that the opposition exploits, losing height in central areas, as we saw recently, has only exacerbated the team's difficulties at defending set pieces. It's a compounding problem. The tactical rigidity combined with personnel issues creates vulnerability that opponents are quick to exploit. Another critical element is communication within the squad. Reports of friction between the manager and key players, including senior figures, and the captain are deeply troubling. In any team, especially at a club of Celtic stature, cohesion and trust between management and players is non-negotiable. Without it, even the most talented individuals can't perform optimally. The loss of faith in leadership affects decision-making on the pitch, willingness to press forward, and confidence in taking risks. When players feel unsupported or misaligned with tactical directives, mistakes become more frequent and the team's overall resilience crumbles. Confidence is fragile, and once it's lost in a dressing room, it can be incredibly difficult to rebuild without significant intervention. Looking at recent matches, the inability to deal with adversity stands out starkly. In games where Celtic have taken the lead or created strong chances, the team fails to maintain composure under pressure. Conceding shortly after scoring or being pinned back by counterattacks demonstrates a lack of mental toughness and strategic countermeasures. This pattern has been repeated too often, indicating a systemic problem rather than isolated errors. There's also the matter of decision-making from the technical area. In the second half against Dundee United, no adjustments were made despite the evident changes in the opposition's tactics. It wasn't a complex issue. It was about recognizing shifts on the pitch and responding accordingly. But the absence of any tactical evolution left the players exposed and increasingly frustrated. The psychological aspect is equally significant. Players appear to have lost belief not only in the game plan, but in the manager himself. If senior figures like the captain don't fully endorse the approach, it's near impossible for the team to rally collectively. Even if minor tactical corrections are made, they may not be effective without renewed confidence in leadership. The disconnect between the manager's philosophy and the player's execution underscores a worrying gap. Confidence and cohesion are essential, particularly when matches turn challenging. Celtic, under the current management, seems to be lacking both. Furthermore, the long-term impact on the squad cannot be ignored. There are players nearing the end of their time at the club, others approaching the limits of their peak performance, and some struggling with injuries. Combined, these factors often amplify the need for astute management and tactical flexibility. The current approach, which prioritizes strict adherence to principles over practical adjustments, risks deepening existing problems. If corrective measures aren't taken promptly, Celtic could face a prolonged period of underachievement, both in terms of results and player development. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In what could be one of the most sensational moves of the season, whispers across Europe are suggesting that Celtic are on the verge of securing a major coup in the transfer market. According to sources close to the club, the Scottish Giants are said to be in advanced talks to bring a Premier League star to Glasgow, a move that would send shockwaves not only through the Premiership, but across the continent. The player in question, whose identity remains tightly under wraps, has reportedly caught the eye of Celtic's management with a string of impressive performances in England. Known for his pace, technical ability, and knack for turning games on their head, he would instantly become a marquee signing for Celtic, who are keen to assert their dominance domestically while making a serious impact in European competitions. Speculation has been rife for weeks, with pundits and fans alike debating who could be tempted north of the border. The Premier League, widely regarded as one of the most competitive leagues in world football, rarely sees its top talents make the move to Scotland, making this potential transfer all the more extraordinary. Insiders hint that Celtic's ambition, combined with the promise of a starring role and the passionate support at Celtic Park, could prove irresistible. While no official confirmation has been made, the buzz around the Scottish football community is palpable. Social media channels are ablaze with guesses and analysis, with supporters speculating on the player's position, age, and potential impact on the squad. Some suggest that the move could be a statement of intent from Celtic, signaling that the club is not only content to dominate Scottish football, but also determined to challenge Europe's elite. The rumours have already stirred interest beyond Scotland. European observers are reportedly watching closely, curious to see if Celtic can pull off a deal that many would have considered unlikely just months ago. Should the transfer go through, it would undoubtedly strengthen Celtic's squad depth and offer fans a thrilling prospect in the years to come. For now, all that can be done is wait and watch. If Celtic truly managed to land a Premier League star, the Scottish football landscape could be transformed overnight, proving once again that when it comes to ambition and audacity, few clubs in Europe can match the hoops. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.